Magat, and at the outset, I too want to thank Senator Carnegie for his work, and indeed Deputy Pat Buckley, and you're welcome to the House, Senator. I think it's fitting that you're here on such an important subject, and I have gone through the report, and there's some really, really good stuff in here, so I want to commend the work of all of the committee here. And I want to thank all the parents who contacted me, all the parents from Mayo, to say how important it was that I be here this evening and that this be implemented. And there's huge expectations around what this is going to mean for them and for their children, and as was rightly said, for their siblings as well of autistic children. And I think that's what we're all here for. I do want to just mention, I suppose, the great work while I'm here of Mayo Autism Camp, not least because I'm missing a really important event that they had today in launching their Autism Resource Fair, which is on the 1st of March in the McWilliam Park Hotel. And they do really, really good work, both Colette and Alicia from Mayo Autism Camp. And Minister, you might have met them even last week when you were in Mayo. And I do welcome the fact that you are in Mayo, and I know you met many of the parents and indeed the children who this will mean an awful lot to in terms of this report and the full implementation of that. And I know too that you met Robbie, the 13-year-old boy who has been without education for many months. And I know that on these cases, I think it helps to remind us the human beings that are behind, be they the young people, the children or the parents, that are behind all of this and why we need to make it work. And I noted in this as well, and I thought it was interesting around the Maltese model and around what they do in Malta in terms of summer provision, and that there's 8 weeks provided there, and the way that the programme is provided. And it was Elaine Jenkins, I think, of special needs school classes, highlighted this programme, and I think it's a very interesting programme. But there should be no reason whatsoever, we're a very wealthy country, there should be no reason whatsoever why we couldn't provide for our children here what is provided for the children in Malta. And the most notable thing is it's equitable. Every child gets the summer programme for the 8 weeks. And I think that's certainly what we should be aiming for here for all of the reasons that are outlined in this report and that other speakers spoke about. I do also want to commend and maybe recommend to you the work of Amanda McGuinness. Many of you will have heard of her. She was diagnosed herself as autistic when she was 39, and she has 3 autistic children, and she does wonderful work. And there's a really good YouTube video where she explains her story as well, and she's very good at helping us all for us to understand better what the needs of autistic people and autistic young people are. And I really want to commend her work. I think she's a fantastic woman and has done an awful lot to help us to better understand. I suppose I'm mindful as we're speaking here and speaking about summer provision and the number of parents who are forced each year to have to take up private therapeutic interventions and private access to private care services as well. And above any year, people are loaded down with bills and the cost of living crisis that we're going through. I think it makes the recommendations in this report even more urgent that they're done, because we can't have a situation where parents are forced to take unpaid leave from work, and again where siblings are forced maybe to take unpaid leave from work as well, but and also to fill in the gaps here. So I think we need to be mindful of that. But in terms of the regression that happens, we hear from all of the parents, and now everybody here, from each and every parent, the one commonality across everything, and it happened during COVID as well, of how their young people regressed. That they regressed, obviously, in terms of ones that do maths and reading, and also in terms of social skills. And when that regression, it's not only deeply unfair to the person involved and to the parents as well, but also just in terms of us building up the capacity of children and of young people as well, and helping them to really fulfil their potential. If they continue to regress, then it's going to take longer and longer for them to fulfil their potential, and I think we really need to be mindful of that to ensure that that doesn't happen. And I noted when the Minister was talking that everybody should get a place. I'd love to hear the phrase, everybody must get a place. And I know that you are doing everything that you can in terms of trying to get that done. And I think it's awful important that schools are given the resources, but also that there's somebody accountable, that somebody says, well, actually, this has to happen. And what do you need to make it happen? Because I will provide the resources and we will give you the resources to make it happen. Because I don't think it's good enough saying that you have an option of home tuition, because that isn't suitable for everybody. And sometimes I feel like it's a kind of a let-out clause that's there that you can have home-based tuition when we know the benefits of the interactions for children and for young people and all of that. They're unquantifiable in many ways. But I'll go back to where I started in terms of the expectations of parents. I really and truly hope that the recommendations that you work so hard to have documented here are implemented, so that it will make a difference to the lives of the people that we are all here to support.